Hello, everybody. It is the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. Don't be a doofus. It is the day of the vice presidential debates, and I'm going to be live after the debates tonight. I've said it before. This is probably the most important vice presidential debate there's ever been because there's a great probability that one of these two that we're going to be watching tonight is going to be president of the United States, and that's just based on probabilities, based on ages of the existing presidential candidates, and based on the volatile situation our country's in at the moment. Anything could happen at any time. First of all, subscribe, please like and share the video. Again, I'm going to be live tonight after the debates or after the debate between Vice President Pence and Senator Kamala Harris. For those that watch the show all the time, of course, thank you. And please continue to do so, and please share so this show will continue to grow. Those of you that watched for a long time know, or maybe not, maybe you missed an episode where I mentioned it, but I used to be a musician. I still play, but I used to be a musician and had the opportunity to play with some incredible guitarists. I was a bass player. I still am a bass player, but I'm not in a band or anything at the moment. And if you're not in a band, being a bass player is kind of a lonely habit, or what's the word I'm looking for? Hobby. But anyway, I got to play with a lot of great musicians, and we lost an incredible talent in Eddie Van Halen, and I just wanted to recognize that musicians and music is one of the absolute greatest and best ways to bring peace, because music crosses divides, and if music's good. It doesn't matter in what form, fashion, or style. The vice presidential debates tonight, Vice President Mike Pence, Senator Kamala Harris. I've debated Mike Pence 3 separate times, and I ran against him in Congress when he was in Congress in 2006, 8, and 10. And we had 2 debates one year, one the next year. And in 2010, I got on the ballot and I won the primary. And it was, in all honesty, it was more protest against the Democratic Party, because I didn't do anything to try. And I truly regret that now that he's vice president of the United States. But I've experienced debating this guy, and he will be very well prepared. He will attempt at least to come off as very likable. He won't be a confrontational bully, unless he is morphed into something he wasn't, which is a very distinct possibility. But based on my experiences, this guy's a very good talker. He is very smooth, and he will be very informed and very prepared. Kamala Harris, I honestly have never met, and I look forward to hopefully learning things tonight that will make me feel more comfortable with her being in the position she's in. That's just my honest impression of what's to come tonight. Now, we've had a couple of episodes. We had Mike Selinker on, and Mike's a master board game and card game designer, Dungeons and Dragons, Risk, Veritas, D-Day, and he has 4 scenarios and 4 explanations. And if you haven't seen that episode, take the time to watch it when you can, because there's a lot of things to make us think. And I think some people, I don't know, some people might have not listened closely, or nothing he said was promoting communism. And I got an email on that, no, by comparing what could happen to the Russian Revolution, it wasn't comparing us to try to be communists against the good patriotic Americans. It was based upon numbers. It was based upon raised militias, since the Lenin didn't have an army, they raised one, and that would be the militias rising in the country. Now, it had nothing to do with communism. So go back and rewatch it, because there are a lot of good points there. Now, it wasn't factored. NFAC wasn't factored in. NFAR wasn't factored in. The various gun clubs were not factored in. Race did not play a part in Mike's game theory, and hopefully that's all it is, and that's all it'll ever be. But good gosh, the condition our country's in right now, and the political venom that's being spewed by so many on all sides is part of is an ingredient of a cocktail that could lead to flames and violence, and we do not want that. And then I put up a look back at the NFAC in Lafayette, Louisiana. And again, I had 3 live videos at one time up, showing pretty much everything that was going on, and they got pulled down because of complaints of violating community standards. So that's why I wanted to put the recap up, just in case there were those that had not seen it yet, that you could see for yourselves what happened with the NFAC. Now, what happened in the park, those 2 shots, supposedly different factions of the new Black Panther Party. I didn't see any of that. The stream and the backup stream I was watching, they didn't cover any of that. So that's why none of that was in the look back, because I didn't see it. I was focused on the NFAC, and nothing happened. The NFAC was not part of any discharges, intentional or accidental. And Grandmaster Jay actually multiple times in the beginning says, no one have a round in the chamber. So there's no chance of an accidental discharge, which in any time you've got rounds in the chamber, there's always a chance of an accidental discharge, no matter who's handling the guns. Of course, the chances lessen the more experience you have with guns. But NFAC, I've got the Louisville shirt on. Grandmaster, and not because of this, it's just coincidental. Grandmaster Jay was in Louisville on Tuesday evening. So why? Have no clue. I don't know. But he was there, and so that tells me we need to make sure and keep our eyes on Louisville over the next few days, just to see if he was there doling out instructions, if he was there, if he was there for discipline or something like that. We'll never know about, and it'll fade from our memories. But from the video, I don't think that was the purpose. I think he was there to dole out some instructions, and we need to keep an eye on Louisville in the coming days. And again, I'm just kind of, I'm out here playing my own little game of chess. So, another thing about the whole Lafayette thing, and about NFAC and NFAR and the new Black Panther parties, because it seems like they've kind of fractured the Black Panther parties. I don't know. Again, I really honestly don't know, but that's not the point. The point is, I understand that there are those that think Grandmaster Jay is an agent, and maybe he is. My opinion. I don't think he is. I think he's somebody that seized the moment and is he's coming to grips, because it's a very young organization, and he's coming to grips with things, and it's evolving. And what I don't understand, I understand if you think he's an agent, I understand why everyone, or not everyone, but it sure seems like a lot of the other shows on here are just totally anti Grandmaster Jay, and I don't see it. I see it totally differently. I see what he's doing, or what he's attempting to do, is building a powerful organization, so powerful that it never has to fire a shot. Whereas other organizations, I don't see why you can't coexist. I don't see why it appears like it's one way or the other all the time. And again, this is just a doofus white guy making an observation, but I don't understand why all these groups, because they're all important, and they all are going to play a part. I can't understand why they can't coexist without, but I don't know, I don't know that culture that well, and I don't know that life. So, but I sure would like to understand, because just from an observational standpoint, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me why all the groups are scrapping with each other. And I'd like to know. And I've invited Grandmaster Jay to come on here. I'd love for him to come on here for just 20 minutes. And it would be a way for him to get whatever he wanted to get out to a small audience, other than what's normally his own. But I'd like for him to come on and answer some of those questions, just so that the, again, if there comes trouble, why do you want to be fighting amongst yourselves? Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that part of it. General Delta Jango, hopefully we're going to have him back on the program. Hopefully we're going to have Pops, his mentor, and going to have him on for an episode to talk history, because we can learn so much from those that have already lived it. And I wish that younger generations would give this show a look, because they don't. And I think there could be benefit from seeing the conversations we have on here. And I'm hoping to have General Delta Jango again back on the program. He did an interview with the Angry Viking, in case you're unaware. And just a couple of quick observations about that, because I'd like to have Angry Viking on here too. And I've, I've reached it. I'd like to have the guy from Moorish World TV. I know that there's no way he would ever come on and talk with me. At least I don't think so, but I'd love to have the conversation. And Angry Viking seemed, he seemed uncomfortable, at least in the beginning, with talking with General Delta Jango. And another thing that kind of bothered me, but yet I understand it. And I'll explain why I understand it. He said, we're not going to tolerate any racial comments tonight. And by designating tonight, he said, out of respect to our guests. And that kind of bothered me because it means basically that you're accepting of racist comments at other times. And that's kind of one of the things I'd like to talk to him about, because it juxtapositions the message that he sometimes shares about that, this isn't about race, that patriotism doesn't have skin color, and it shouldn't have. If your country is a country that everyone in it can be proud of, then patriotism is not something you have to force or something that you have to magnify. So I thought the Angry Viking looked uncomfortable, and then they made an incredibly big deal out of things that that General Delta Jango said on here and said on Moorish World TV. And just because they hadn't heard it first, it made it seem like nobody in the world had ever heard it. And that's a problem with white people. A lot of us, if we don't know about it, then it can't exist. And that's just asinine. But anyway, and I'm just going to put this out there. I was concerned when Delta was on this show that some of the things he said might lead people to get into trouble. I'm really concerned after he's been on the Angry Viking that some of those people in the comments don't try to take things and get people in trouble. And that's not the point of this show. And I hope it's not the point of the majority of viewers of this show. But some of the hate he was getting in the comment section of that show, I'm just concerned that some of those are going to try to spin discussions into bigger plots than what they actually were. I'm just going to put it that way. Again, going to be live tonight after the debate, and give you an opportunity to ask questions about everything I've just been talking about. Basically, it's what tonight's live is going to be. Also, and I want to end with one final thing, because Angry Viking and General Delta Jango kind of formalized the fact that they're going to meet in Lakeland, Florida, and I really want to be there for that. I really want to be there to live stream that. Not because I believe there's going to be conflict, because I'm taking both at their word and there wouldn't be, but because it's going to be historical. because I've always said that's what I think needs to happen, that all the militias need to come together and say, we're supporting the Constitution. We're supporting the total Constitution. The powers that be, the elite, in my opinion, want us fighting each other. Why? Well, think about it. You can abolish the Second Amendment and say, oh, people don't need to have guns anymore once war's already started. Then anybody is a criminal that has a gun. And it's based upon the judgment of those who are implementing the judgment. It's a very dangerous situation, very dangerous situation. And we could very easily find ourselves in that. So the fact that General Delta Jango and the Angry Viking are going to meet is a positive, and I'd like to document it. And you can help me do that. GoFundMe. I'll put the link in the description, or Cash App, American Doofus, $ American Doofus, all one word. And I'm about a quarter of the way there, and I'd like to get there quick so I can book it and get it as cheap as possible. So bare bones, I'm looking at about $400 to do it. That's flight, rental car, hotel, and everything. And I'm about a quarter of the way there. So if you can help out, please do so, because I think it's going to be historic. Now, I also hope it's not something that suddenly gets out of control because somebody wants to be a hero, because even though the Angry Viking himself may not be a racist, that doesn't mean those in his organization have the same ilk. So, and if that were to happen, then of course we need to have it documented, because it'll get spun more times than a washing machine tub if we don't have it documented. So I think it's kind of important that I get down there, and I might be making a call out for body armor and a Kevlar helmet. I don't know. I sure hope not. I want it to be a peaceful thing, and it'll be a historic gathering either way. And I firmly believe that those of us that aren't in the elite, we need to come together, and that is a patriotic thing to say, whether that is your bent on patriotism or not. In my opinion, we shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting for freedom, equality, and peace, and doing so without ever firing a shot, just by showing the mass amount of people of all creeds, all colors, all factions, all geographic locations standing up saying, no, 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 not anymore. Not anymore. It's time. We went by the Constitution and the whole Constitution, and we might find ourselves in a challenge on that come election day. So let's all talk more. Let's talk together. Let's talk with each other. Let's don't yell at each other. If we disagree, we disagree, but at least we tried. Something to think about. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Walsh. I'll be back on tonight live after the debate. Until then, don't be a doofus. Thank you for watching. Peace to everyone. I love y'all.